Doing well, Marty. How are you?
Doing good. This is one of the big races of our season. It's an enduro, 2 hours that uh, follows our last week qualifying race. So the grid is being set as we speak, as the drivers jump in their cars and wait for the start. We've got what looks like 5 minutes and 24 seconds to a green flag.
It's going to be exciting. It's a long race. It's actually about, I think it's going to be over 2 hours and 15 minutes, 400 kilometers, which is 58 laps.
Yeah, it's a long one. Not as long as some of we've had in the past, but it's longer than the rest of the races in the season. And I'd like to throw in a long one for the manly drive, and the challenge being first and foremost to finish a race like this.
Yes, a lot of things can happen in 2 hours or 58 minutes of racing, or 58 laps. I mean,
Yeah, according to some pre-race information that we've been given, one of the big variables in this race because of its length will be pit strategies, and apparently there's some significant spread in the fuel mileage between some of these cars. Some of which will necessitate one more pit stop than some other cars. So it'll be a challenge to keep up with what's going on and to see how these drivers handle the strengths and weaknesses of the cars they're driving.
yeah, that's true. We saw that at Bathurst, first race of the season too. That some of these cars just can't make it on a two-stopper on this endurance race, so they're going to have to take a totally different strategy in order to make it, the full length of the race. While other cars can easily make a two-stopper, so it's going to be interesting. You might see some guys dropping back a little bit at the beginning and during the race, and then towards the end of the race, they might be ahead because they're actually saving fuel in order to make that two-stopper work. So we'll just see, and we'll try to keep track of all the pit strategies, of course, and not let anybody slip through the cracks as far as strategy-wise.
Right. Yep. We'll give it our best. Yeah, and one of the to put a kind of a fine point on it, from what I heard from one of the competitors, that some of the more thirsty cars are easier to save fuel than others, and depending on where they make their peak power. And there's various well-known driver techniques for saving fuel without losing a significant amount of lap time. It's one of those challenges that some drivers do better than others, and some cars it works better than others.
Yeah, that's true. We'll try, and we've got plenty of time to actually go through this during the race, but we'll try to fill you in while we're watching certain drivers. Looks like we got about 2 minutes to go. I'll go ahead and go through the starting grid if you'd like.
Go for it.
All right, your pole sitter Ronny Nunez, who ran away with the race last week, uh, starting first, and next to him is Martin Walters, who finished a little bit down the order last week. However, he kept his spot in second due to his pole time in Super Pole. And then you got David Poole, John Ludden, Aaron Parsons in fifth, Carlos De La Torre. That's a good run for Carlos. Sixth, John Houston, Kreshna Khalili, Al Merriman, and Matt Taylor in 10th. Al's carrying 10 kilos of ballast. 11th, Omar Gomez. 12th, David Zahn, which is a good finish from David. 13th, Hernan Gonzalez with 40 kilos. And I think he got penalty. He got a 5 grid spot penalty last week for contact on the first lap. Then 14th is Andrew Werner with 50 kilos, and he had a horrible race. And it looks like both of those guys are carrying softs, and neither one of those can do a two-stopper, so that makes sense. They're going to try to gain some time on the first stint. They'll probably pit kind of early. Then you got 15th Chris Moses, 16th Ronny Suarez, who's carrying 40 kilos, 17th Bjorn Heyman, and then followed by Brad Mears, Luis Nieto. Nieto's carrying 40 kilos, Brad's 30. Ian's carrying 30, he's in 20th, and a sub. He's a sub. And then you got Jack Ivey, Iggy, Schubeck, Moises Caraballo, Greg Myers subbing, Sergio, and Sam Rolfe. And here we go. Sergio and Sam Rolfe are both carrying 40 kilos.
And the lights are up. And they're away.
Looks clean start in the back. I did forget to mention they're actually running tire warmers starting to, oh, big crash at Eau Rouge. One of the Lambos, one of T-Brock is into the wall.
Yeah, John Houston and Matt Taylor.
Sergio, Taylor.
And Herman Gonzalez. Oh man, there's like 5 cars back there getting back on track.
And Greg Myers. Yeah, somebody got into Houston going into Eau Rouge, and it spun a couple cars across the track and hit that wall on the right. I was trying to say that they're running tire warmers, so it's not going to take that many laps to get these tires up to proper grip.
Yeah, I think it was done in the interest of safety, but safety is a relative concern. So Chris Moses gets inside, gains a position or two here. We're on our out lap. It's like everybody's trying to be careful. Look, we got a Porsche off.
And Ronny actually gave up the lead to Martin.
Yeah, we're with our leaders now. Martin Walters, Porsche, followed closely by Ronny Nunez in the Ferrari. It's like they're opening a good gap on the rest of the field here. Yeah, we got a little side-by-side there at the end of the first lap, but it looks like everybody's settled down into a pace here and seeing who's got what.
Oh, two or three groups of pairs of cars went side by side through Eau Rouge that lap. Everybody made it through.
Aaron Parsons takes an outside around Carlos De La Torre. That was for the 4th position.
Yeah, I see Andrew Werner dropped back a little bit. He lost a few spots. He's back in 14th. I think he was up to 11th or 12th.
Yeah, David Poole and Kreshnik Khalili are, looks like they're in serious contention here for a position. I notice David had some very good pace in practice.
So Carlos up in 5th, hanging on to that spot. He's doing a heck of a job tonight. Nice to see him up there. Oh, we got a crash out of Eau Rouge on the straight. Several cars involved. Iggy's involved.
Yeah, look, I just caught the very tail of that. It was off in the distance.
Yeah, there was a big crash. They survived Eau Rouge, and it was actually when they crested the hill onto the straightaway.
Yeah, I see Iggy. Iggy's parked it. Sam Rolfe has parked it.
So is Bjorn. Bjorn was one of them involved. Hernan Gonzalez and maybe Sam Rolfe.
That's a shame.
Eau Rouge will kill you.
Yeah, this early in the race, with such a long way to go, to be giving no quarter is not always the best strategy. Yeah, we're up with the leaders now, and Ronny Nunez is giving Martin all he can handle here.
No matter what happens in this little battle right now, this is probably going to be a battle for the whole race. These two clearly have the pace ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, they got a comfortable gap back to 3rd and 4th place. John Ludden and Aaron Parsons, 3rd, 4th. Followed by Carlos De La Torre. David Poole in 6th. Kreshnik Khalili in 7th.
Ooh, Khalili almost lost. He had a huge slide at Eau Rouge.
Yeah, I think that caused him to lose that place to Ian Jelkor.
Yeah, he's lucky to survive that one. Now last week we had Ian, I believe, was subbing in the Porsche, and now he's actually driving a Ferrari. I think he's subbing for Trevor. That should be a pretty good car for him. He's currently running 7th place.
Yeah, we've kind of given Ian the nickname Super Sub for the Thursday Night GT Series.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And actually, yeah, I had him. I don't think I announced him as fourth place. He was starting. He had to be starting at the back of the qualifying grid, so he's made a ton of space or positions up so far. For actually, he switched cars, so he couldn't start in the rate in the same position that he did. He finished last week.
Yeah, we've got Matt Taylor back here in 22nd. You don't normally see him back that far.
No, he must have been involved in that first crash.
Well, unfortunately, folks, we do not have the facility for instant replays. But for those that have the Assetto Corsa driving sim, the server replays will all be posted post-race, and you can watch it for yourself. In addition to the broadcast, of course.
Got a good battle going on for 8th, 9th, and 10th. At 9th and 10th are Luis and Chris, two really fast guys.
It looks like Aaron Parsons got around John Ludden for third.
Yeah, and he set the quickest lap of the race with a 20.2.
Well, I think the rumor was that Aaron was going to go out as fast as he could, knowing he's in one of the thirstiest cars that will require an inevitable third pit stop. So he's just going to go out there, hammer down, and make the best of what he's got and see how it comes out.
Yeah, well, we saw that at Bathurst. I think he finished, he had to do the same thing. He had to make an extra pit stop and still finish second or third.
Yeah, if memory serves, I think he did finish second after leading a considerable amount of that race.
Looking at Chris on track, he's running 10th. He actually started 19th, so that's a heck of a run for Chris. He must be feeling a little better. He's been a little bit sick lately.
Yeah,
we're following. His results were showing it.
Yeah, we're following Chris right now, and he's looking really smooth. Looks like he's got a handle on it tonight. We'll see how it goes. And he's followed by Al Merrimon, who gets a little bit of grass on the sweeper.
Up ahead, Kreshnik having a heck of a run. 8th place.
Yeah, it's like Omar Gomez has got his mirrors full of Greg Myers in that bright yellow Corvette. Can't hardly miss it.
Yeah, I think Greg is subbing in, I think that's Barrett's car.
Either Barrett or Salem.
Well, I don't think it's Salem. Salem's didn't go over that penalty earlier, but Salem was suspended for a race for that first lap wreck.
And there's Greg on the inside.
Yeah.
On the inside, looks like he got a good draft and textbook pass. And Omar Gomez doesn't make it easy, but he does give him the room so that it stayed clean.
Oh, I see David Poole in 18th. I don't know what happened there. Did you happen to see anything?
No, I'm moving back up the field here to see what's happening at the front. Looks like Brad Mays has got his drifting shoes on. Brad Marys, pardon me. Well, it's a nice little gaggle of cars from Luis Nieto on back. El Merman's right with Andrew Werner.
It looks like Nieto made it past Halit Kreshnik on that last lap.
Oop, looks like we've got some guys in each other's air here. I see a Corvette pulling out. I think we have a 2-hour sprint race on our hands, John.
Well, that could make for some excitement, that's for sure, if they keep it up.
Yeah, it looks like Luis Nieto is kind of pulled away from Kreshnik, and then there's about a 5-car stack here, all within fractions of a second of each other.
Nice to see Kreshnik leading that pack. That's a heck of a 4 drivers behind him.
Ooh, we have a slow Aston ahead.
Oh wow!
It's like Sergio Calderon had a moment, and he's coming back on. He's giving this pack plenty of room so they can continue on.
Oh, Andrew! Oh, they both lost it. Oh, that huge hit for Andrew.
Kreshnik clearly
Andrew
back.
And Kreshnik lost it.
Yeah, backwards in the grass.
Yeah, Blanchemont. Andrew just killed that wall. If that was real life, I'd be worried about his legs.
Yeah, Andrews went straight to the pits for repairs.
That was a massive hit. I was watching that. I don't think there was any contact, but it looked like Andrew went way wide at Blanchemont, and he lost it and started coming back on sideways onto the track, and maybe Kreshnik saw that and tried to juke a little bit to the left to avoid him, and he slipped or spun out too.
Boy, Ian Jellicore's right with Carlos De La Torre. And Carlos lets him go. A lot of racing left to go, and it appeared that Ian definitely had the pace on him. It's like Aaron Parsons is edged away from John Ludden. And Ronny Nunez is still in the wake of Barn Walters for the lead. So this is probably going to go on for quite some time. And it would appear that Aaron Parsons is slowly catching up to that battle.
Yeah, he still looks like he's still doing the fastest laps of the race.
Yeah, that should worry those 2 leaders at this point. So we've got Al Merriman and Brad Mary's in their 4 GTs, followed closely by Chris Moses. And Ronny Suarez in a Viper.
I want to say hi to Gup Douglas, who's out there watching tonight. Haven't talked to him in a while, but good to see you out there, and hope to see you back on track sometime.
Yeah, it's good to hear from Gup. Looks like Kreshnik has recovered fairly well here.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if he's going to stick with his fuel schedule, try to stick it out for the whole stint. Looks like we're lapping lap 9 at the moment, and they're going to start pitting on 18 or 19. At least for the guys that are going to try to two-stop.
Yeah, David Zahn's got a mirror full of Lamborghini and a Viper, and it looks like the Lambo's going to make a move on the outside. That's David Pohl, picked up position 16, so he's recovering from whatever it was he ran into initially. So long race to go, lots of possibilities here. Looks like he's definitely got the pace on David Zahn.
Just got back up to the front of the field, looking to see what's going on with Martin and Ronny, and it looks like both their fastest laps are exactly the same time. So those guys are going to be stuck on each other the whole race.
Yep, it's going to come down to pit strategy and pit tactic as to how good an outlap and in-lap they do and how little time they can spend in the pits. Thomas Schubeck cruising around here in the 12th position with this group well in sight. Looks like he's got good pace, but he's kind of running safe and clean by himself.
He's in a car that I think is impossible to two-stop. The Viper being one, the Bentley, and the Lambo. And the Ferrari's pretty heavy on fuel, except if you really concentrate, you can save a ton of fuel in the Ferrari.
I've got David Pohl and Moses Calabano swapping positions here. Giving David Zahn lots of action in his mirror, but David Pohl's looking like he really wants that position. I expect that David may have had a problem with the Rouge and gave that position up briefly to Moses. Oh, he's on the inside of David, and he takes the position. Nice pass. Talked about Jack Ivey. He's just cruising around here in 17th, watching these guys duke it out ahead of him.
Yeah, good to see Jack out there. He's been kind of off and on this season.
Yeah, as fun as it is to watch the guys ahead of you duking it out, it's going to slow them up and you can kind of get up into the action. You really want to try to make something happen, but sometimes it's better just to lay back and wait and see what happens.
Yeah. If I was out there on track, I wouldn't want to rub paint with Jack Abbey this week. He actually gave up smoking a couple weeks ago, so he's probably on edge. Better steer clear.
Oh, that's what that red
But
mist
we're
is.
pulling for you, Jack.
That's what that red mist is around his car.
It's like it was a Dick Trickle smoking a cigarette in the cockpit. That was Jack, and he gave it up.
Well, nothing like a good sweat behind the wheel of a race car to clear the system. It looks like things have settled down here in the mid-pack. Let's move up and see what's going on up front.
Still a tight battle for the lead.
Yeah, Brad Marys and Al Marimon still pacing each other in those red, white, and blue Ford GTs. In fact, Luis Nieto is right with Ian Jellicoe. And they're approaching the chicane. This should be interesting. And Ian made a beautiful inside pass there on the approach to the chicane. Or should I say he made a great defense, having been ahead before. If you think we're confused now, folks, just wait to the end of the race.
Maybe he passed one of these ghosts riding around. Stefan Beloff might be still cruising around this track.
And why would that be the case?
Well, he died here back in '85, I believe.
Whoa! Luis Nieto, big tank slapper. Hung on to it beautifully. So Ian's got a little reprieve here. Two Ferraris that look like to be very well matched.
Oh, up front, Ronny makes a pass.
We're on it.
The oddest of places in the Fagnes. But I think Martin got a little squirrely coming out of Stavolo or Pouillon and allowed Ronny to get a run on him going into Fagnes and made the pass.
Yeah, that's some top-notch driving from both those guys. Who knows, maybe Martin was ready to start to follow rather than lead for a while. Although you never want to let Ronny up front in clean air.
Nope. Not from what we've seen lately with him. You give him the lead and he's gone.
He seems to have, as good a pace at the beginning of his stint as he does at the end, which is one of the principal challenges in preparation and setup. The car can feel good, it can feel fast, your lap times look good, and then it's just like, what happened to, half a second of my lap time toward the end of the stint? Like we're already up, leaders are already up lapping slower cars or cars that have pitted for repairs.
Yeah, I was just looking. Ezza's right there. Aaron Parsons, right there with the two leaders. So he's got a hell of a pace. He's probably loving the fact that they're duking it out up front. He can hang right with them.
And we got John Ludden run by himself in fourth. Ian Jellicourt, Luis Nieto still knows the tail. They haven't quite decided how to resolve this yet. Ooh, Ian goes a little deep, locks him up, and Luis has got no place to go, so he's just tucking in behind. There's some places, you know, on a typical racetrack where you can make advantage of another driver's mistakes, and other places where it's just not worth it. Even if you see the daylight, it ain't going to be there by the time your nose gets in there. We still have Carlos Stellatori in 7th position, followed by the 2-4 GTs of Al Merriman and Brad Marys.
Looking way back in the field, Andrew Werner's back there right behind John Houston. I suspect he'll make a pass pretty quick, but you know, he probably had a very long stop after that huge crash. But if there's any saving grace, he would have had to make an extra pit stop anyway, and it was late enough that it put him in the back on the pit strategy as far as he could make it without making an extra stop after that. So hopefully he got his damage repaired and he can make up some spots. He's currently 19th, but knowing Andrew, he's at least looking at a top 12 or so from here.
Yeah, that's a good point, John. If you can make that first pit window, you can take an early first stop and repair damage or whatever, and get back out there. And then as the pit stop cycle, you know, the field starts to come back.
Oh, it looks like Luis just made a pass on Ian. He got a draft down the Kimmel Straight.
Yeah, these guys are having a great little battle. Jump on board here with Ian and see what it looks like from behind the wheel. Yeah, Luis is definitely using all that car.
Can you go inside Ian's car?
Yeah, we're on board with Ian. Yeah, on board with Ian at the moment, watching his pursuit of Luis Nieto, and excellent job by both these guys. It's interesting to see that they both have what appears to be a slightly different preferred line, but they're both using all the track from the white line down to the curb at the apex and back out again. And using some curb where I probably would.
I see that Omar and Matt Taylor have both left the surf. We're down to 20 guys on track. Looks like Ezza's gone quicker. He set the fastest lap at a 19.7.
Well, he keeps doing that. He's going to lead the race whether he wants to or not. Yeah, we're with Aaron Parsons now in 3rd place. And he's definitely closer than he's been since the start.
I suspect he's going to pit. He's going to have to pit in the next 2 laps because I don't think he can make 18. Or at least I know he can't make 19, which is the magic number.
Yeah, we'll have to look for it. Expect him to be among the first for a normal first stint stop.
Yeah, he's gone this long. I expect him to go as long as he can for 2 stints, and then the last stint short fuel and soft tires and let her rip.
Exactly. And John
I
Ludden's
think
in
the
a.
soft tires would be great for, what, 6 laps here before they start to fade?
I really don't know, John. It's and I haven't really heard to that effect. Probably the only clue we would have had would be to kind of like watch them in qualifying and see how long they stay out for a qualifying attempt. But John Ludden is in a rather lonely 4th place right now, followed by Luis Nieto in 5th, who's opened a gap to Ian Jellicoe. Oh, I see Al Miramon has got around Carlos De La Torre. So now Carlos is kind of in a Ford GT sandwich. Yeah, I heard some talk in the garage about some of the setup and alignment characteristics of the Ford GT that appeared to be, shall we say, odd to some of the teams. And whatever the issues were, Al's definitely got it dialed in. Ooh.
Yeah, the talk was a little bit over my head, but I think the engineers will work it out.
Brad Marys is just exiting the pits, as is Thomas Schubeck. So I think that's your first round of pit stops on lap 16.
Well, that'll pretty much guarantee they can't make it in 2 stops.
Well, it's interesting that Al and Brad have split their strategy. So Al's still out. Brad's completed his first stop. So we'll have to try to see how far Al goes. Aaron Parsons still out, holding position, 3rd position there behind Martin Walters. And in he comes. So he wasn't the first to pit. So at the end of beginning of lap 17. Kind of seeing how long it takes. Aaron Parsons looks like a fast, clean pit stop, so he's back out. It's like
so if he keeps that up, it'll leave about 10 laps, a 10-lap stint at the end of the race.
Yeah, so that's not exactly a splash and go, but a short field nonetheless. Looks like Martin Walters has closed it back up here to Ronny Nunez for the lead. So it's like these guys are just sizing each other up, trying to figure out, if their pit strategy, an alternate pit strategy may give them the proverbial undercut to gain a position. Aaron Parsons is back out, and he's still in 3rd place. So that kind of shows you how big that gap was.
I was looking at that and trying to figure that out. Nieto and Ian haven't pitted, and they're still behind Aaron.
Unless they snuck in and out.
Unless they actually pitted and we
Yeah,
missed it.
when we weren't looking. Well,
If that's the case, then they're kind of stuck with a 3-stopper.
no, I don't think they have. Al Miramon, it's still the same running order. Yeah, Angelicor's getting some wheel spin out of that chicane, so I think he's starting to show some significant tire wear here, and he's losing space here to Luis Nianto. So I expect him in very soon. Yeah, we're on board here with Martin Walters sitting about half a dozen car lengths back of Ronny Nunez here. These guys are definitely using everything they've got here. One good thing is it's pretty much, except for Aaron Parsons, it's allowed them to clear the field and kind of get into their own little battle.
Nice little battle going on for 10th place with 4 drivers.
Oh, dirt in the distance. Aaron Parsons just took it off. So Parsons just dropped back to 8th with that. Didn't see what happened going in, just the aftermath as he got back on the track.
Oh, wow. I wonder if he went off at Eau Rouge.
I didn't see where, but it wasn't a Rouge. Yeah, we got Moses Carabello and Brad Marys in close pursuit. And Kreshnik and Chris Moses not too far back.
I just checked, and every driver now on track is on the medium tire, which is expected at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Moses is looking to the outside here on the sweeper. It's like he's completed the pass. So he's ahead getting into the chicane here.
Moises Carvalho just made a pit stop. Nunez is in.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, from about third place down now, have not pitted.
For some reason, my app that's supposed to turn colors when someone goes into the pits is not working. So I'm not exactly sure. But I would say if they haven't pitted now, they're going to pit in the next lap.
Yeah, I believe the first down through seventh have not pitted. But I could be wrong. Ooh.
Close call.
You saw that, yeah.
Carlos and Aaron.
Yeah. Good driving by both those guys. Well, whatever happened to Aaron there to lose all those positions doesn't seem to have slowed his pace a whole lot. So, still got a long way to go. No, John, I'm not seeing the car in pit indication either in my app. So I guess we're just going to have to wing it.
Yeah, I think we'll see Luis and Ian definitely going to the pits this lap. And maybe Ludden and Al, John Ludden and Al may have made it 20 laps. That's a long way.
Yeah, we see our leader, Martin Walters, in the pits. Ronny Nunez stays out.
Luis is going in.
And so is Ian.
Followed by Ian. Ludden stays out.
Martin Walters gets out ahead of Nunez.
Al's going in.
Oh, don't do too.
And Carlos.
Ronnie thought about it, knowing Martin's on cold tires. Okay, Nunez pulls out.
Well, he's on warm tires. He's on warm tires, but they're not
cold.
They're not up to speed yet. They still need to scrub a little bit to get the maximum traction.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie basically got the position. Yeah, Martin's definitely hasn't got the grip up yet. You can have, tire blankets to preheat the tires, but they're not up to complete operating temperature by any means. It just means they're going to come in quicker on the first few laps. Yeah, I heard some drivers talking that, the real benefit of having tire warmers effective for all sessions is for practice and setup. You don't have to do so many laps to evaluate your setup changes. You can just fairly quickly decide that what changes you've made are better or not, and get back in the pits, make some more changes, or put it back the way it was and go back at it again. It can be really frustrating when it takes, upwards of 3 or 4 laps, especially at a long track like Spa, to evaluate a given setup change. And as I overheard one driver say, it's like, yeah, by the time I got the tires up to temp, I forgot what changes I made.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to actually go to the tire warmers, because it is frustrating, especially when if you're going to run hard tires, they take 5 laps at least to get up to proper grip.
Yeah, unless you're in a Formula Master car. And for those that don't know, that's a reference to our Monday night North American Grand Prix Series, where we run the Formula Masters car, open wheel, fun car, very much a challenge to set up and drive correctly. But the interesting difference is that it's effectively a spec car. Every driver has exactly the same car to work with. Whereas here in the Thursday Night GT Series, a Porsche isn't exactly the same as an Aston Martin, and a Ford GT is not the same as a Lamborghini. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and it's up to each driver and teammate to test and practice and develop the car to your driving and to its maximum potential.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. They're dangerous, very dangerous, but they are a lot of fun once to actually nail some laps. Feels really good in that car.
Well, I think that's the nature of a Formula car. It's, not that these GTs are not pure race cars, because they are. I mean, they are built and prepared as pure competition machines. But they're based on a road car configuration. And a true Formula car is purebred from the drawing board to the racetrack. And most notably, they don't have fenders. So it looks like John Ludden may not have pitted. He's ahead of Aaron Parsons by some amount for third place. So I think we could put the Ford GT in the high efficiency category.
Wow. And he goes another lap.
Yeah. I mean, he's over 10 seconds ahead of Aaron Parsons, so I think it's safe to say he is not pitted yet, because he was back at least that amount or some bit, running in fourth place early on. Of course, Aaron had a big off there a while back. That may be the difference right there. So don't take any of this to the bank, folks.
Yeah, I think he has had to have pitted.
Yeah, now that I think about it more and more, I think, yeah. What threw me off is that, Aaron was ahead of him before, and now he's considerably behind him, but that's no doubt due to that hard off that Aaron had a while back and allowed John Ludden to take third position. Looks like the Luz Nieto has opened a comfortable gap on Ian Jellicoe here after those stops. Followed by Al Merriman in a rather lonely 7th position. His teammate Brad Mary's in 8th. And in 9th we have Ronny Suarez, followed not too far back by Chris Moses. Ooh, Thomas Schubeck here, side by side with Carlos De La Torre. Yeah, John, we're going to have to figure out a way to, of course, it's not nearly as difficult with the one-stop races, but figure out a way to be able to document who stopped and what laps. Maybe we need to hire an intern.
Definitely. This is the first time I've noticed the pit app is actually acting up, or the app that I'm using to see when someone pits is actually not working properly.
Now I've noticed that on my from my view for quite some time now. So I have to maybe investigate that. So anyway, back to the race. Got Carlos De La Torre here in hot pursuit of Thomas Schubeck. Not too far back, Andrew Warner. Yeah, right now this battle for 11th looks to be the closest on track. Ooh, and Carlos gets his nose under him at the apex, but it looks like Thomas got a good run coming out. And now they're thinking about side-by-side through a Rouge. And thought better of it. All of which gives Andrew Warner.
The Bentley's always got the top end advantage on that little drag race.
That's true. That's true, especially when he had the outside. Carrying a bigger radius means you can generally, if the car's hooked up, you can carry a higher exit speed. Andrew Warner's there now on Carlos De La Torre. So I guess it looks like Andrew's doing another one of his all too frequent comeback drives.
All right, I'm showing Carlos is on the soft tires now.
Really?
So in that portion, he might have gone he might have taken a long stint. He's going to do a shorter stint on soft tires in the middle.
That's interesting because doesn't appear to have anything on Thomas at the moment. So on board here with Andrew Warner, watching Carlos and Thomas working at it ahead of him. Ooh, Thomas locks it up going into the hairpin and holds on to it. Goes to the outside. Carlos is going to drive down the inside here. Looks like Carlos is going to get it done. And Andrew is right there. Ooh. Thomas took a little wide, carried more speed, and he's got it back from Carlos. Now Andrew's got a run on him. Carlos goes defensive on the inside here. And Andrew takes the position.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew's damage has been repaired. He's got good pace.
Yeah, these guys did a good job, whatever it was. And we're on lap 26 out of 58, so we're just now at the halfway point. Or not quite, but approaching the halfway point in this race, so still lots of racing to go. So on board here with Andrew Warner of the Lamborghini with a nice view of that rather ample posterior of the Bentley.
Yeah, that Volkswagen-powered Bentley.
Yeah.
Showing them all who's got the top speed.
Yeah, it appears that Thomas's biggest challenge with that car is getting it slowed for the slowest turns. It's good on the sweepers, and it's certainly good on the straights. A little wiggle coming out there for Thomas, but he hung on to it, and now he can kind of take a breather. That he's got open space ahead of him. But that's a good example of the differences between these various cars. Is that while the Bentley's got good legs and appears to be very stable in the turns, getting it slowed down and rotated in the slower turns tends to be its biggest challenge. This is good stuff. Yeah, Thomas slides a little wide there. Couldn't quite get it slowed enough. I think Andrew is smelling blood, as it were.
I noticed David Poole behind this group.
And Thomas slides all the way off track and slots in behind Andrew. So Andrew just read that beautifully. Sorry, John, what was that?
I was going to say David Poole is actually behind Andrew. I knew David had some kind of issue earlier, and I guess he may have had damage too, because for him to end up behind his teammate who had a huge crash, it's kind of shocking.
Ooh, Carlos is inside Thomas here. That's a boo. Very, very nice. But Carlos lost some speed coming out, and that's allowed David Poole to basically take him in the chicane here.
And I see Andrew is actually in the pits.
Yeah, Andrew's behind Thomas again. I'm not sure quite how that happened. Did you see, John?
Yeah, he actually went into the pits.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at David Poole's Lamborghini. Okay. Confusion averted here.
So we're right at the, I've got a couple laps before halfway, so. Andrew had a pretty good long stint there after his damage early.
Yeah, he's out of sequence, I believe.
Yeah, and no sense in sitting there battling with three other guys. Like, you can go ahead and get in your pit, in your pit window, and come out and have nobody to battle on track. Probably a better move.
Yeah, Thomas's Bentley left it open, and now David Poole has gone by. And Carlos De La Torre's got his Porsche around Thomas's Bentley. So we're having some mid-pack shuffling going on here. Just ahead of that group, running a rather lonely race at the moment, is Chris Moses. He's running in 10th, and ahead of him is Ronny Suarez in the Viper. Brad Marys in the 4GT. After David Poole got around Thomas and Carlos there, looks like he's opening up a gap, continuing to pursue his comeback run here. And
looks like the point standings for the championship are going to be shaken up pretty well with this race. 05 Motorsports were leading going into this race with 101, but only by 1 point over Monty Python's Racing. And 05 is Poole and Werner. Monty Python's is Luis and Ronny, who are running 1st and 4th versus Poole and Werner's 11th and 16th. So should be a big lead if they stay the way they are for Ronny and Luis going into next week's race.
Yeah, that's got to hurt 05 Motorsports, you know, with a string of bad luck in this race that has put them back in the field. So their points are not going to rack up as fast as Ronny and Luis. It looks like Al and Brad are back running nose to tail in their 4GTs. It's like, I don't know if that's a strategy or that's just the way it works out, but it seems to me those two are always together.
Yeah, running 6th and 7th, and they're 13 points behind in 3rd place. So that's actually going to be pretty good for them. I mean, very good for them. They might take over 2nd spot in the championship.
Yeah, I think team consistency is what's paying off for them. Well, they took a 2nd and a 3rd and ended up being awarded 1st and 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the Asian.
I think it was 2nd. Yeah, I think it was. I don't think they got 1st, but I think Al was awarded 2nd when he was 3rd, and then when
right. John Luton was awarded the win, was he not?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it was. No, not sure.
Well, something like that.
I was confused. I was thinking of Luis and Ronny when Ronny was winning a race by a mile and lost and gave it to Luis, but actually someone was penalized. Ezza, I think, Aaron Parsons lost the race.
Oh, right.
On cuts.
It's Sepang?
Yeah, Sepang.
Yeah.
And I think that moved Al up to 3rd. I don't think Brad was up. He wasn't in 4th, but he was, it definitely helped.
Right, yeah. No, the team mid-season like this, the team championship is pretty much up for grabs. Yeah, Martin Walters in 2nd place is put a lap on John Houston. I'm not sure what happened to John early in the race, but I imagine he was got the short end of the stick of some of that early action.
Yeah, he was involved in that. I think he was involved in that crash at Eau Rouge a few laps into the race.
Well, at the moment, Ronny Nunez has a comfortable 7+ second lead over Martin Walters. I told you, just if you let Ronny out in clean air, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I see Aaron running in 8th place now. I think maybe he may have snuck into the pits and we missed it.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Didn't see. John Luden continues to just simply run his own race there in 3rd place. I'm just catching John Luden coming into the pits on lap 31.
Well, we just passed the halfway point. I guess if Aaron was going to, split it into a three stopper, then he's going to go,
right.
each quarter of the race, make a pit stop.
Well, 3 stops would give us 4 stints. So.
Yeah, that'd be about 14 or 15 laps per stint for him.
Right. Ian Jelcor has found himself on a lonely piece of track now, running in 5th. Yeah, so John Luden apparently got around him, and we didn't see that happen. No, I'm sorry. Luden has been ahead.
I think he may have passed Ian in the pits. And that cycled out of the pits ahead of him.
Right.
Looks like Schubeck just went into the pits. I see Al and Brad have quite a bit of separation, 30 seconds, so Brad may have pitted. Weren't they running nose to tail?
Yeah, but they were on a different pit sequence from the first stop. But in the meantime, Andrew Warner's making a move on Kreshnik Halili here and completes the pass nicely. That'd be for 15th place. Yeah, I'm kind of getting the impression that the guys in the Lamborghinis have got, a lot of speed potential in those cars, but they may not be the easiest to drive on long stints. To say nothing of their relatively poor fuel mileage. So it's kind of a frustration to know you got a good car, but it has some serious downsides that you have to deal with.
Well, yeah, that's true, and I'm glad you brought that up because we are going to address these issues next week. Isn't that right, Marty? There's going to be some more balance of power to kind of bring these cars closer together as far as performance.
That's right. It's been announced that there'll be a balance of performance, the proverbial BOP adjustment, following this race at Spa. There were no specifics in the announcement as to what the changes would be, but they would be implemented this weekend for all to see. So it's going to be easy. It's going to be interesting to see what changes are made and how people feel about it. But it was felt that, as is often the case, whether it's virtual or non-virtual racing, that in order to keep the field closely competitive, that some adjustments need to be made.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing that comes to mind is the Porsche's gas mileage. That's got to be changed.
So it looks like Andrew Warner is just gradually easing away from Kreshnik after taking that position. Right now, they're just both settled into a pace to see how this all shakes out. Looking for anything else there that is worthy of our attention. It's like the field has got seems to have some pretty stable gaps at the moment, but we suspect that won't last.
See, David Poole's made his way back up to the top 10.
Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, he looked like he was on a tear. He's only
And Werner's in 13th.
Yeah, David's only like 4 seconds behind Brad Mary's in 9th place. So we've got a long way to go here.
Yeah, I think I said I thought maybe Werner could make it back up to 12th, and he's actually running 13th with almost half the race to go. So he's doing a good job after that crash.
You got Ronny Suarez in the Viper. Yeah, right behind David's on. They're on a different lap, and David moves over and lets him by.
Yeah, looking at Werner and Poole, every position they make is a point or two towards the championship, but they're leading by 1, so very important.
Yeah, I think it's all about damage control for those guys. They know where they're at, so let's just head down, move forward, see how it shakes out. I'm wondering if Aaron Parsons had another off, because unless he you didn't happen to notice what tires he's been on, did you, John?
They're all on the mediums now.
Yeah.
Everybody on track's on medium.
I'm just curious, just speculating now that Aaron may have done a short second stint on soft tires, and is now back on pace with the rest of the field, running in 7th at the moment.
Well, he's only a couple seconds behind Al. And, Al's only made 1 stop and Aaron's made 2.
Yeah, so it doesn't look as bad as it may appear for Aaron at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on it and see how it works out.
Yeah, I think these pit stops are 20, or between 25 and maybe 35 seconds to get down to speed and back up.
The Angelica is taking the brave outer line there on the green stuff. It's always fun to watch Ian drive. Talk about Mr. 10 tenths.
Yeah. Gup just pointed out that the podium at the moment, as they run, is all Dominicans.
Oh, you had to point that out, huh?
That's a pretty small country to be, you know, as many countries are involved in this race and in this series. Pretty small population to have all three guys on the podium.
I confess, I never associated the Dominican Republic with, high-profile, maniacal race drivers.
No, I mean, I'm not even sure they have a racetrack on the island.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's a good. It's an interesting observation, John. But it's like it kind of begs the question. So I wonder where else in the world there's pockets of intense motorsports enthusiasm.
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind for me is baseball for Dominican.
Yeah. Of course, motor racing is becoming increasingly a global sport, especially the high cost of entry means that the people who can play this game, you know, speaking of the real side now, the non-simulation side of motorsports, that you see names from all over the country racing in these high-end professional series, and I think increasingly it shows that wherever people have the talent and the resources, they can play. Well, John Luton is looks like he's inching up on Luis Nieto here. He's only about 2 seconds back, still in fourth place. How did Luis was back running with Ian, battling for fifth. So he's having an excellent drive to have third position at the moment. I think John Luton is definitely preparing his crosshairs.
I was told by one of our viewers that there is a circuit in the Dominican Republic, and that racing is very popular all over Latin America.
Well, we know that Argentina and Brazil, and to a good extent Mexico, have been well known for their motorsports culture kind of thing. But yeah, the smaller countries have maybe been a little under the radar. So maybe it's something in the Latin blood that makes these guys so passionate. Yeah, but we're showing that both the new guys and a lot of the regulars that have been with us for quite a while from South and Southern Central America have been some pretty fine competitors and big assets to the North American Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see.
We're just kind of watching John Lydon here stalking Luis Nieto. It's one of the closer gaps currently that I see. Oh, no, I am wrong. He's just caught Aaron Parsons taking that position from Al Merrimon for sixth.
Yeah, that's our closest battle on track.
Yeah, I think you could say Aaron has found his zone. Yeah, Al and Brad are not currently running close together, so looks like Brad kind of lost his teammates' draft and is currently running in ninth behind Ronny Suarez. Ooh, just happened to catch Ronny Suarez in the pits from 8th position. I suspect we may have missed some pit stops. I see Carlos De La Torre back in 10th.
I think Carlos is still out. He's on softs. I would think he's still out there, because I don't think he's going to take softs for more than one stint.
Well, it looks like he's got the softs working for him.
Looks like Moises Carballo is coming out of the pits. He's side by side with Schubeck going into. Oh, okay. He lets Schubeck go through into Eau Rouge.
Oh, just caught the end of an incident with David Poole and David Zahn. They're both back underway now. It looks like something happened and they both got it off track momentarily. Yeah, we see Aaron Parsons basically stretching out that sixth position that he just got from Al Merrimon.
Looking at Ronnie's getting ready to put Moses and Kreshnik a lap down.
Yeah, our leader's in real traffic at the moment.
Kreshnik goes into the pits.
And there's something you don't see very often. A leader putting Chris Moses a lap down.
No, that's true, but it is fun to see.
Can I quote you, John?
Sure.
Yeah, Ronny Nunez is on a tear here. Martin Walters in second place is almost 15 seconds back at the moment. Yeah, Chris Moses has had a pretty rough season, and I know initially he was struggling with that Corvette, and I know he had invested in some new hardware, driving hardware, at the beginning of this season, and don't know to what extent setup and adjustments may have contributed to some of the lack of consistent pace, I guess, would be the best way to put it. I don't know. Is he carrying weight for this race, John?
I don't think so. I can check. No, Chris has got no weight.
No, right now our closest battle is Thomas Schubeck and Moses Caraballo for the 14th position. We're running about 2 car lengths apart here. Yeah, Moses Viper is looking a little worse for the wear and tear here, so he may be carrying some damage.
You mean the Corvette?
No, Caraballo in the Viper. Currently running close to Thomas Schubeck in 14th.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's hard with these paint schemes, or liveries, as they say on the other side of the pond. It can be hard to tell whether cars carrying minor damage or it's just supposed to look like that.
Yeah, Assetto Corsa makes it pretty tough. I don't think there's very much modeling as far as damage is concerned. Not like GTR2 anyway.
Right. But the damage is nonetheless real when it comes to the effect on which way the wheels point.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, how the car steers. Ooh, looks like Moises has got an inside line here on Thomas for that position. Nice clean pass. And Thomas doesn't make it easy for him, but doesn't run the risk of ruining both their races. So that was some really clean driving from both these guys.
And it looks like Aaron Parsons is up to 4th place ahead of Luis and Ian.
Yeah, just as soon as you take your eye off Aaron, he's in a completely different part of the race.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, 40 laps, there's 18 to go or 19 to go. And the guys that are two-stopping are definitely in their window now. It should have been 220 or 219 laps and 120 lap stint.
And there's the Brad and Al show back together, nose to tail. there again may be due to some. These guys we know are on a different pit strategy, so we'll have to keep an eye on this to see whether these guys are currently on the same point in their race.
Got Ivy coming into the pits for his last pit stop. He's running 17th. Looks like Luis and Ian both passed the pits this round. Although they may have actually both pitted for their last stop.
Well, we know that we can expect Aaron to make one more stop. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So he's currently running at 4th. So yeah, that will certainly drop him back at least one, maybe 2 positions behind Ian. But it looks like he may have enough time on Al Merrimon to stay comfortably in the top 10. That's for sure. Yeah, looks like the closest battle at the moment is with Kreshnik and John Houston. Houston's doing everything he can to hold Kreshnik off here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to see Kreshnik's fallen that far back. He was running in the top, I think, 5 there at the beginning. 6 or maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's definitely looking one side or the other here to see where John's the weakest. So they're coming down the start-finish here to. I'm sorry, that's the old start-finish up through a Rouge. Aston Martin on Lamborghini. Kreshnik is right there in the draft, so let's see if he can make it happen here. Now he's pulled to the inside. I think he's going to make it
try.
work. Yep, he's got position, that's for sure.
Yep. Had to dive it in there too far.
Yep, but no.
I think he lifted. He knew that was a bold move, and he probably could have stayed ahead of John, but that's he did the sportsmanlike thing and let him take the position back.
Yeah, I would classify that as a violation of the track limits.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you did it once, you can probably do it again. We're on lap 42 of 58 laps, so still plenty of time to make something happen.
So, Marty, do you have any plans to see any real races this year in person?
Oh, the only one that comes to mind um, is the historic races at Laguna Seca every year. They're always a hoot. Beautiful cars, generally good weather, some really good racing. I have a friend of mine that owns a McLaren Can-Am car that he campaigns in the historic races. So it's always fun to go out and watch him run.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
Yeah, just, it's like it's almost like a pornographic experience, automotive pornographic experience. So many beautiful cars and really neat people who've, done some marvelous work to restore a lot of these old cars to not only, gorgeous visible condition, but to true race-worthy condition, so that they can compete and show them off the way they were intended to be shown off. How about you, John?
Yeah, nice. I went to the Daytona, the Rolex 24 this year,
Oh,
and
right.
saw they have a lot of old cars displayed that ran there, but I've never actually seen any kind of historic race, or at least more than just parade laps at Indy. So that'd be pretty cool to see that. But yeah, I plan on going to the 500 this year, and Indy is going to be the 100th running, so I'll definitely be there. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe the Indy GP. Um, and I'd love to try to go to Watkins Glen or Mosport for a race this year.
Oh yeah, those two tracks, they're a must do at least once.
Maybe Mid Ohio, if I can get some guys to go.
Well, it's kind of one disadvantage of being out here on the left coast. It's so far away from a lot of that center of motorsports.
Yeah. Well, at least you got to go to the 500 once or twice, right?
Oh yeah, met up with you guys 2 years in a row to see the greatest spectacle in racing, and enjoy the gracious hospitality of Chuck Carter. That was truly memorable. Glad I was able to do that.
Yeah, great times.
Chuck let us drive his 911 Turbo.
Yeah, I got to do a track day, and he had a Boxster. A whole lot of fun. Putnam Park, great little track to do some laps. And I ended up doing about 65 laps over a weekend. It was, I mean, that's something to knock off the bucket list. Absolute ball.
Yeah, I've always encouraged all my racing enthusiast friends that these days there's lots of opportunity at not a great expense, to just get a car and go out to a racetrack under one of these high-performance driving track day events, and in a laid-back, highly, well-organized, safe environment, get some instruction, go out, drive your car at speed. There's nothing like it. It's certainly, not only inappropriate, but it's just not the same as driving fast on the street.
Yeah, exactly. I've never felt that before. Actually, pushing a car around a track where you can actually feel the tires not only reach proper temperature and get up to their maximum grip, but actually push it over the edge, and you can actually feel the car start to, feel the tires to start failing on you. It's unreal. Just a great experience.
Yeah, it's like you're at one with the physics of the car, and of course the real athletic challenge is the driving. It's to be able to not only understand but to execute, a competent driving technique at the limit. I mean, it's until you experience it, it's really difficult to describe. When you know, it's like, oh, I got that a little wrong. Okay, next lap I'm going to see if I can get this right, and you just keep working at it. And it's like when you get it right, it's like anything in sport or most other things in life. When you know you got it right, it's an immensely satisfying experience.
Yeah, definitely. It's a thrill of a lifetime for me.
Yeah. Lewis Hamilton, watch your back.
Not for me, but maybe Jimmy Spencer or something.
Well, while we've been yakking away here, looks like Martin Walters or John Luton has moved up to second place, and Martin Walters is right with him.
Yeah, I would suspect Martin has had some kind of problem.
Or maybe Martin pitted.
Unless it's a because Ludden did to go a long way on his first stint.
Right, and Luton's still got to make his last pit stop, I expect.
It's possible, but it's also possible that he's made it.
Because Martin in third is, or if you take it, both those guys are like 25 seconds ahead of fourth place Louis Nieto. John Ludden coming in now. Answers that question.
No, okay. That makes sense. I'd be interested to see how long his pit stop takes. He had about 22, 3 seconds on Luis. He's in fourth.
I expect he'll be out ahead of Luis here. 6, 5, 4, 3. He's away. 2 seconds. It's going to be very close here.
He's going to come out ahead of him, but Luis is on the better tires for the moment. So it is about 20 seconds. That's pretty awesome, considering GTR2 you're looking at a minute.
Yeah. Well, these cars don't have 5 lug nuts either.
No.
Yeah, Luis is closing it up here as John struggles to get his tires up to temp. So I think it's game on for second place here. Or I'm sorry, for third place. The final podium position. It's short of winning the race. It's the prize that every driver is trying to grab.
Yeah, and Ludden's trying to represent the U.S. in this little race too.
Go, John, go.
You gotta have one North American on the podium, right?
It is called the North American Grand Prix. But having said that, certainly drivers from all locations of the planet are welcome. I mean, while we're on the subject, I mean, we've got, UK drivers, from Britain to Ireland to Australia to Canada. We have one Russian. Is he located in Russia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, in this race, we've got Kreshnik. Kreshnik's Eastern European.
That's what I was thinking of, but it's not in Russia, is it?
No.
Not that would be a bad thing.
He's across the Adriatic from Italy.
Ah, but the point
Um,
the point being is that we've got
I
drivers.
can't
Yeah,
remember.
we got drivers from all over. So it's part of what makes this such an interesting and challenging league to drive in. And speaking of
Romania, maybe.
yeah, and speaking of diversity, we have a interleague fun race coming up Saturday between. Okay, now I'm going to press my memory here. Between us and the North American Grand Prix and the Russian League, whose name I can't recall, that we raced previously in the Formula A box, plus
Yeah, like OSRI, maybe.
yeah, plus a British team and Italian. I'm not sure.
Spanish.
Spanish, yes. Yeah, a 4-league
Yeah.
interleague fun race in the Lotus Evora GTC at Silverstone this Saturday. And I took the Lotus out
Yep.
for a test drive here the other day, kind of thing. Really enjoyed it. I like that car.
Yeah, I haven't tried the cars yet, but I will be the color man again, and Al's going to be broadcasting that on Saturday. So join in.
Yeah, so all you race fans, put it on your calendar, tune in. Should be some.
Yep, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern,
Right. Some good international competition.
which is 4, let's see, that would be 5 p.m. UTC.
Well, we've got 10 cars on the lead lap now, and we are down to another 12 laps in this race. With Ronny Nunez handing the rest of the field their hat with a 23-second gap over Martin Walters in second, John Luden in third.
Still got 20 drivers lapped around the track, and it's been the same. I think that same number since about 15 laps into the race. So it's nice to see these guys continuing to race, even though a few of them are pretty far behind.
Yeah, it's it really needs to be said. The talent and experience at this level of league racing is shown by the ability to push a car at its limits for 2 hours with minimal mistakes, and to bring it home, in one piece, regardless of where you finish, I think is quite commendable.
Yeah, exactly.
Try that on your Xbox or PlayStation. Little PC bias there.
Watching Aaron run around. He's in 6th position. I think he probably made his last stop. He's got 16. He's 16 seconds behind Ian, and about 6 ahead of Al. Oh, and he has a slide, but hangs on to it. About the only close racing on track right now is Ludden and Louise.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Actually got Poole and Werner in 10th and 11th, which is pretty good considering, their luck so far tonight. If they finish there, they're going to run away with 13 points for the championship, which is, pretty good considering what's happened.
Yeah.
A lot of people in Andrew's position would have probably quit the race.
Yeah.
After a huge crash.
Yeah, it certainly could be a lot worse. These guys are going to finish with some points, and they're going to slip back in the championship, but certainly not out of contention with the number of races we got left to go. Anything can happen. I mean, we saw, was it Ronny or Luis that was leading when he lost his connection?
That was Ronny. Oh, Aaron has a little crash. Uh-oh. He gets off track and lets Al go by. Yeah, coming out of the Fagnes, Aaron had a little slip and overcorrected and hit the wall on the inside. He's got it going again, but he did lose a spot.
Yeah, Aaron's had a rough night.
Yeah, well, morning for his, for Aaron.
Yeah, on the bottom of the earth.
Don't know how he does it. There's no way I could actually do a race at 8, 9 in the morning. No way.
I'm not a morning person either, but I used to do it in the Saturday League. 9 a.m. races. In fact, I remember racing back in the not GT Legends. What am I trying to remember here?
Grand Prix Legends.
Grand Prix Legends. Thank you. Yeah, racing some of those early leagues, and yeah, I was up at. I remember they were 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't believe I'd get my butt up to run those races. And I could just, I was not up to speed, It would be like just about the time I'd crash out, I'd be woke up, ready to go.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of darts and go to dart tournaments, and a lot of those would be early in the morning. And, I'm used to playing, in a league that starts at 8 p.m. and do all my practice at night. So it was extremely hard to actually try to compete 12 hours, apart from where you normally are actually doing it. It wasn't for me.
We see Luis Nieto continuing to hound John Ludden for third place, that precious final podium position here, with about 7 laps to go. So I'm sure these guys are leaving nothing on the table here. Yeah, we're in car here with Luis Nieto, looking at the back of that beautiful black Ford GT. And John Ludden is using a little more curb than I would normally, but seems to be making it work for him. But I'm sure Luis is looking for that weak spot that he can take advantage of here in the closing laps of this race. And chasing John Ludden, good luck with that.
Both these guys look really, really smooth. You see a lot of guys going into these slow corners like the bus stop and locking up their brakes, but I haven't. Watching these guys for several laps going through there, no smoke, tire smoke at all. They've got it figured out.
Yeah, Luis wasn't able to get that Ferrari close enough in the draft to make a difference there on that straightaway. So it's still looking to me like, what, about a half a second gap.
Luis is really slinging that rear end around, trying to get a little better turn in.
Yeah, interesting. John's using some curbs that Luis is not, and vice versa. I'm no doubt having a lot to do with some of the basic characteristics of the car and the way they've set it up.
Yeah, exactly. These cars are really, really finicky over the curbs. So if you see these guys using a lot of curb, then they've actually worked on it and tweaked it out of the or into the setup. I would say, to make it much easier to go over the curbs.
Yeah, I've always struggled with that. The idea of setting up a car to handle the curbs. It just seems to give up grip in other places of the track where you should be driving. So I've always kind of been very keeping curb driving to a minimum, but then you see people like Aaron Parsons who just are the curb meister, so to speak, that you can just gain so much time in some tracks by taking generous use of the curbing. I think John Ludden is settled down here and is starting to pull a gap here on Luis in the closing laps. We've got 6 laps to go. So do a quick rundown here of your running order. We've got Ronny Nunez with a handsome lead here of some 27 seconds over Martin Walters in second, John Ludden in third, Luis Nieto in fourth, Ian Jellicoe fifth, Al Merrimon in sixth, Aaron Parsons is in seventh now, Brad Mary's in eighth, Ronnie Suarez in ninth, David Pohl in 10th, Andrew Warner in 11th, Carlos De La Torre in 12th, Chris Moses in 13th, Kreshnik Halili in 14th, Moise Caraballo in 15th, Thomas Schubeck in 16th, and John Houston in 17th. Jack Ivey in 18th, Greg Myers in 18th, and David Zahn in 20th. And we've got Omar Gomez has dropped out of the race, as is Matt Taylor, Sergio Calderon, Samuel, Iggy Giordia, and Bjorn Heyman. And Gonzalez. What's his first name, John?
Hernan.
Right. So there's your running order in the closing laps of this race.
Yeah, remember next week these 3 new Dominicans are not going to have any weight, and they showed pretty good speed last week. So, and tonight actually, Ronnie Suarez. So let's see what happens next week. I mean,
good point.
They might sweep the podium tonight. I hope they don't sweep the top 6 next week.
Well, if they do,
might have to change the name.
Let's just understand they earned it. Now, especially with the weight, the new driver membership weight, whatever you want to call it. They've been showing good car control and competitiveness. So yeah, you're right. Be interesting to see what they do here with without that weight in the subsequent races.
Yeah, 40 kilos is gonna. That's got to be at least a second a lap. What do you think?
At a track like this, yeah, for sure.
On this track.
Yeah, because it's a long
Yeah,
track.
and Ronnie's running he's running just a lap down. So, I mean, if you took off, 53 seconds, he's going to be running the top 5. For Ronnie Suarez.
Right.
Carrying weight.
Right. I just switched over to the best lap display here for all the drivers so far in this race. And where are we here? Okay. Yeah, Ronnie Nunez has best lap of the race at a 219.759. Martin Walters is 219.8. Aaron Parsons has a 219.7. Those are the only ones that are in the 219s.
Well, looks like we've got 5 to go, Marty.
Yeah, just trying to stay with the best action here. I see. It's like everybody's pretty settled down at the moment.
Yeah, looks like maybe Carlos, Chris, and Moises having a pretty good little scrap.
Yeah, we're following Chris Moses and Carlos De La Torre at the moment for the 12th position. And Carlos is definitely, gets a little tank slapper and a little wide on the exit of the chicane. That isn't going to help him catch Moses, but he's got a couple laps to make it happen here.
There's another 19 on the list. Carlos. Or no, actually it wasn't Carlos.
Oh, okay. They may be a lap apart. Because I'm showing, the running order shows Carlos behind, or ahead of Chris Moses. Hold on here.
Well, Moises just ran, I was just going to point that out, he just ran a 2:19.7. That's the second best lap of the race.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was confused. This was Martin Walters in second place behind Chris Moses. And ahead of Chris is Carlos.
Ah, now I see the reason why. It looks like Werner's back on softs, and so is Moises Caraballo. He's running soft tires.
Okay, yeah, keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I bet he's gonna do the fastest lap of the race.
seeing somebody in the pits here. Ronny Suarez has just come in. Yeah, it's longer than a splash and go. He must be taking tires with 2 laps to go. And he's away.
Oh, wow.
And Ryan Nunez continues to set the pace here.
Yep, less than 3 to go now.
Yeah, I think.
I just saw Carlos go through Eau Rouge and almost hit the inside wall.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it appears that Martin Walters is basically content with second place at this point. He's got a sizable gap behind him, John Ludden.
Yeah, no point in throwing that away. There's no way he can catch Ronnie unless Ronnie stops.
Yeah, this is not exactly a winner-take-all situation. It's like, you know what? Grab as big a fistful of points as you can, and minimize the risk of losing that, and move on to the next one. Tom Schubeck moves over and gives Luis Nieto plenty of room here. Haven't said much about Greg Myers in that, should we call it a Reddoride Corvette?
Yep.
Yeah, I expect he did not get much time in that car before this event. But in true Greg Myers fashion, his consistency is going to bring that car home in good condition.
Yeah, I know for a fact he didn't get much time. He got about an hour in that car. Still pretty close between Ludden and Luis.
Yeah, we're following that now. It's just Luis just cannot get close enough to that Ford GT on the straight to get any draft benefit. And I suspect that John's got that figured out. He's not taking any chances, and as long as he can keep doing what he's doing, I think he's good. Yep. Luis just takes it off into the runoff area there. That isn't going to help his cause at all. But you can't blame him for trying. You never know for sure what's going to happen unless you just leave the pedal down.
Yeah, he's gonna need a little bit of a mistake from John. And there's the fast lap of the race from Ronny. He's dipped it into the 218s on those soft tires. Did an 18.8.
Yeah, seeing that. Yeah, so low fuel, fresh soft tires. I'm sure he will enjoy the bragging rights.
And Andrew's ahead of him, but Andrew's actually got probably 5 seconds on him, so no chance for a pass. And we are on the last lap.
And yes, we are moving back up the field here. Chris Moses is not in the same lap with these guys. They are running close. Take that back. That is a race for position. Chris Moses and Moise Calabano. I always have a problem with that. I'll get it sooner or later. These guys are making a race of it on the last lap. Let's catch our leader across the line here.
Yep, it's going through Blanchemont right now.
Yeah, I got him. What a lonely drive. I feel sorry for him. Not.
Yeah. Well done, Ronny. Nice.
And your winner, Ronny Nunez. Crossing the line now, waving to the crew. I'm sure he'll appreciate the...
Pool's going to finish his race in the pit.
And we're picking up this Chris Moses, and right to the wire, nose to tail.
Nice.
Martin Walters right behind them, takes second. John Ludden.
Yep, here comes Ludden.
Ludden approaching the chicane. Good gap on Luis Nieto to take the final podium stop.
Nice finish for Kresnik. Here comes Ian for fifth.
Ian's characteristic wag of the tail there on the last turn.
Looks like Brad's going to bring it home in sixth, or Al, followed by Brad in seventh. That's important for the team championship.
Yeah.
I think they're going to pass. They're going to pass second. They're going to take over second in the team championship. Ahead of 05 Motorsport.
Brad Mary's finishes in seventh. Here comes Aaron Parsons.
As an eighth.
I'll bet he's glad that race is over.
And look at Andrew Werner bringing it home, ninth place.
After all that drama.
After being back in 20-something, after a huge crash. Well done, Andrew.
Yeah, it is. The qualifying race was a disaster for him too. So it's a testimony to perseverance to see what you can make out of a bad situation.
We're joined in the booth by Ronny Nunez. You're getting used to this. Way to go, Ronny. That's a dominant performance.
Good evening, guys. Man, I'm so exhausted. It was a really tough race.
Yeah, I imagine your focus was a challenge because it didn't seem like you really had much after the halfway point. You didn't have much of a challenge except to just keep it on the gray stuff.
Yeah, there was a point that your mind gets into autopilot and you're not really paying attention to the track. I mean, we've done so many practice laps that we pretty much have the track dialed in. Uh, yeah, yeah. It was a bit tough to concentrate at some point, but yeah, super tough race.
Well, that's a testimony to the depth of your preparation, as well as your just raw speed. That's the way a winning finish comes together. So congratulations, job well done. You guys are really looking good in the team points from what John was telling me. So you got to be feeling good about that.
Yeah, yeah. We kind of felt a bit robbed at Barcelona. We were gonna get a 1-2, and then my computer froze with 2 laps to go. It was really, really frustrating and sad. But yeah, we got good points now. Luis got an amazing result coming from the back. Had an amazing drive, and yeah, we're really, really happy with the result.
Well, halfway through the season, still a lot of racing to go, but you guys are definitely looking very good. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Marty, and thank you, John.
You're welcome. Way to go, Ronnie.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Night, Ronnie. Well, there you go, guys. Some very good racing out there tonight, kind of thing, and some challenging strategy to keep track of, kind of thing. But I think we're beginning to really understand some strengths and weaknesses here between the different teams, and it's far from finished as to where these championships are going. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I think we'll see you next week at, I believe it's Road America, and we'll have a new balance of performance package to, get you back up to date on what's going on with that. So, I suspect the last race of the season, being another long event, won't have exactly the same strategies as we had tonight and Bathurst. So everybody may be on par with each other then. We'll
Yeah.
just have to wait and see.
So stay tuned. We will have news next week on the changes that these drivers will have to adjust for. And so, any other closing thoughts, John?
Nope, just well done. We didn't have a sweep of the podium by the Dominicans. So, I mean, you don't want somebody to dominate. But we'll see you next week in Wisconsin.
All right. Well, thanks, John. We'll see you next week, and see everyone again for the sixth race of our 28th season at the Thursday night North American Grand Prix GT. Good night, everyone.
Take care.